Hello, everybody. My name is Dr. John Dexter. I am your instructor for HRM 6623. Welcome, everybody. I'm glad to have everybody on board. I just wanted to do about a 5-minute video introduction, kind of give you an overview of the course and expectations. There might be a couple of other short videos periodically throughout the course. But I will try to make them as short as possible and get to the point because I know everybody out there is busy. First, a little bit about me. I am a Navy veteran, spent 6 years on submarines on the East Coast, nuclear power, then spent about 17 years in HR, the last 15 as a chief HR officer for several small and mid-sized, mostly technology companies, including Hotels.com and Expedia, a company called TravelClick, as well as Caliber Home Loans, and a couple of other finance companies, Capital One, and also Office Depot. So that's a little bit about me. I've got a PhD in human resource development, perfectly applicable, I hope, and I think, for this course. Master's is also in human resources development. My undergrad's in psychology and sociology. So I did have a chance to read everybody's bios and have received email confirmations from everyone. Looks like we have a lot of experience with us in this class, so that's wonderful, particularly as it comes to the project, because I want some real world application of human resource development initiatives. So it should be an interesting and engaging topic for us. So as far as just an overview of the course, I think everybody's gotten the textbook or has at least ordered it because of some issues with the availability of the textbook. And the bookstore having a different, same title, different authors. I extended the deadline for the first module to coincide with the due date of the second module. So to be clear, both the first and second learning modules are due on Sunday, next Sunday at midnight, before midnight. So everybody should have enough time. The textbook that is required for this course is the Werner and DeSimone Human Resource Development textbook. It is edition 6. I don't believe edition 7 is that significantly different, but for this course it is edition 6. Also, for the course assessment that's later in the semester, there is a case, which is the Maersk Group Evaluating Strategic Talent Management Initiatives, available from the Harvard Business Review. Costs about, I think, $7 or $8. In fact, you may be able to get it a couple of dollars cheaper than that if you shop around a little bit. I don't know why they'd have two different pricings, but I believe that I was able to find that. So there's also a whole bunch of supplementary readings. I don't expect you to read all of it. I think there's maybe 30 or 40 articles in there that might help you in this course, particularly, again, as it relates to the project. So if you're interested in a particular aspect and you're going to write your project on that aspect of human resource development, you may find some useful material in there. And that's over on the left-hand column. I think it's under the additional learning resources, or probably just learning resources. Lots of students in this class are almost done, so congratulations. That's wonderful. It takes a lot of commitment, so I'm glad again to have some experience in here and give a little bit different perspectives as we work through this. The main topics are outlined pretty clearly in the syllabus. Everything from HR development, influences on behavior and learning strategies, to the framework of development, assessing, designing, implementing, and evaluating training and development programs, and as they relate to HRD applications such as onboarding training, performance management, counseling and wellness, career management, making sure I'm not missing any management development, organizational development and change, as well as diversity training. The main areas for this course are the discussion board, which makes up 30% of your overall grade. It is participation and posting on the questions from the previous week's reading. So each one of those should have an original post from you, which outlines your answer to the question. They are, somewhat subjective. I'm really interested in your opinion, and each of those should be supported by at least 2 references in addition to the text, and that includes scholarly articles, reputable articles. Please don't post Wikipedia, things like that. This is an academic course, so I expect to see either other textbooks or peer-reviewed journals or things like that, which really will make your comments more robust and supported. And then in addition to your original post, response to somebody else's post. Do you agree with it? If you do agree with it, why? If you don't agree with it, why? Different perspectives, things like that. And again, that should be a quality post. I'm looking for some insight into what your opinions are. I'm not just looking for, hey, I agree. That doesn't really tell me much. So, take some time on that. The 30 points or 30% of this course from the discussion should be relatively easy to attain if you actually do the work. There will be probably very few perfect scores each week. Some people just go way overboard and write a lot of information with tons and tons of sources, and that certainly warrants 5 out of 5. While a 4.6 is still an excellent score. So don't worry too much about your decimal point scores. Just interpretations and things like that. But you should be able to get your full 30%, or at least really close to that, just by doing the actual work. Then there's the case assessment. That's worth 10%. That is reading and offering up your opinions on the case study. You can be prepared for that ahead of time. It's available. You can read it. The discussion questions are taken right out of the case. So I encourage you to start thinking about that. That's a required one of the School of Business. So I'm looking forward to some interesting, insightful thoughts on that as it relates to strategy. So, take a read through that once you have it. It's pretty short, and then start formulating your response. Then there's a midterm exam the 5th week. It is covers chapters 1 through 7 of the text. There is quite a bit of reading at the front end of the course. 1 through 7 is certainly doable. It's a chapter or 2 a week. And then the discussions, it's a relatively short test. It needs to be proctored, so you need to make proctoring arrangements, and I will post some information on that. It's already out there, but I'll revisit it and make sure everybody's clear on how to do that and how to set that up. You'll have 2 hours, 30 questions, multiple choice, taken right from the text readings. As far as preparing for it, do your chapter reviews and really understand the gist of the chapter, and everybody should do well on that. And then the last 30% is the course project, and that's due in week 9. You should start preparing it. It needs to be 3,000 words. Please don't write it longer than 4,500 words. Long doesn't necessarily make it better. 3,000 should be plenty to outline the requirements of the final course project. So it's make sure you follow the directions, but don't kill me with words. That's not going to get you any further than the 3,000 would. But also don't go under 3,000. I've had a couple in the past who've submitted 1,000 words, and that's just not robust enough. The final paper needs to have at least 10 sources in addition to the text, and they should be all, everything should be APA format. If you're unaware of that, I will also post some links. Purdue OWL, if you Google that, has some pretty good direction, and it's certainly available out there on the web, or by the latest edition of the APA manual, because as you progress through your master's program or on to a PhD, you're going to have to use APA formatting if you haven't already, and I'm going to be looking for it again. 10 references with in-text citations, and all that should be pretty straightforward. So with that, I am online almost all day, every day. I have my email linked to my phone. We have some international students, some in Europe, some in Asia. It would be unreasonable for me to say, hey, only call me between 10 and 2 on Wednesdays, Central Time. So I will just make myself available to meet the needs of the class. So email me, tell me you need some time to talk, and give me a proposed time, and we'll see if we can make that happen. I can be pretty flexible. So I'm way over my 5 minutes, so I will end it here. Look for some more posts over the next couple of weeks, and I will give you feedback on your submissions as quickly as possible, usually by Monday or Tuesday. Possibly not, because I have twice the work next week, and I guess that's it. Thanks.